Good morning. I see by my lovely calendar that it is the first day of the 4th month of this wonderful year 2020. Oh dear. All right, this shitty year 2020. Hello, Lenny. Oh, and that means it's time for my annual tradition, which I have carried on now for just about a decade. When I first started 10 years ago. Well, actually, it was 9 years ago, but this is the 10th time I'm doing it. It's my famous video known as All Secrets of Halloween Horror Nights 21 Revealed, which was this is the 10th time now with All Secrets of Halloween Horror Nights 30 Revealed, because that's what this is, of course. And oh dear, I just died. Sorry, can't do the video. No, that'd be terrible. This marvelous beverage, which is a new one that Bryan Cranston has been promoting by doing shining impressions in his commercials, which are very lovely. Product placement, and I don't get a dime for it. Damn them. But anyway, yes, it's that time of year again when I, with my ineffable knowledge and wisdom and supremacy, and I'm better than you are, yeah, know everything that's going to happen for Horror Nights this year, and you don't. Yeah. Yes. Yes, my annual exercise in pretense and idiocy, and therefore, with my foreknowledge and my foreskin, no, that got took care of a long time ago, you know. Snip, snip. Never mind. This is going straight to the toilet. Sorry, I'm a bit wacko. It's been a very hard year for a lot of us, for a lot of reasons, and me more than most. But we'll get into that. But nevertheless, yes, with my usual fiction about how I have gotten the full scoop about the whole thing in advance because for no earthly good reason, and therefore somehow I will now reveal these secrets to you, and nowadays the whole damn thing gets leaked earlier than I ever do the video, so it doesn't even make any point, especially when people already know what's going to happen more or less, and the damn map went up yesterday, but that's all right. Oh. Actually, the damn map went up 2 days ago. Damn you, leaking people. Although it's not entirely accurate. But so much for all that stuff. Let's be polite. I have the real answer. I know everything. After all. And therefore I shall reveal unto thee the truth, the true truth. Not the fake truth, but the true truth, pulling it right out of my truth hole and presenting it to you now. Oh dear. So, All Secrets of Halloween Horror Nights 30 Revealed. Where was I? Yes, first of all, this year they decided to try to appeal more to the younger generation. You know, they thought about calling it Halloween Horror Nights Over 30. Okay, boomer. No, they decided to call it, to appeal to the millennial crowd. And so, after all, they're the only ones left after the old fucks die. And they're the ones, yeah. And they're the ones who have to take over, and that they don't spend any of their own money. But we'll see what happens. So, that was part of their idea, to come up with in this 30th year, the 30th year of Horror Nights, a totally new icon. No, sort of. You see this, and just like in this DIY culture, with the YouTube and the Instagrams and the TikToks, all of which people can present their own stuff, even though it's all controlled by Chinese corporations. And they get all your personal information and catalog it, and that's how they control you. Aha, I am the pastor of Muppets, controlling your strings. Strike that, reverse it. Anyway, getting back to it. Now they came up with a clever idea of having a new generation icon that has some elements of the past. And they already had one because some young fellow had managed to pull this off. Even though they're not supposed to, they did it anyway, and everyone liked it. Let me take you back again through time and space in this TARDIS-like way, back to the year 2006, when we had a Sweet 16 at Universal Studios Florida, when the event returned at last to Universal Studios Florida for that gathering. Pardon me. As I've explained before, don't have the virus. My medicine gives me that cough. I've been having that cough long before the virus ever showed up. So don't worry about my cough. I'm not sick. It's just it's a side effect of medicine that keeps me from dying. It's actually a good thing. Oh. But back in 2006, 4 previous icons got together for a little party called Sweet 16. And someone else showed up. A little fellow, young chap, maybe about 8 years old or something. Little boy shows up, dressed up like Paolo Ravinsky. And everyone said, "Oh, look at that, he's adorable." And so was encouraged to do this, which damages the little lad's mind. Now he's completely insane. Naturally. Showed up a few more times, most recently in 2010, but got a bit too old for that sort of nonsense. But I actually have a preserved photograph collected of when this little varmint showed up, hanging out with Cindy back in 2009, I believe. This little fellow who thought he was Paolo Ravinsky, dubbed by everyone at Horror Nights, including the actual icons and characters, as the mini-director. Since this one actually existed somewhere in the netherworld, why not bring that character back officially as the icon of the event, as a millennial icon? Why not? Not really Paolo's son, and no longer a director. Make it, fitting in with the hip to the things of the time. This character has now become a video vlogger rather than directing cinema. Who goes to cinema anymore? It's all done streaming, and it's all done on these things like YouTube, like you're watching right now, you bastards, and TikToks and Instagrams and all of those things, all the little video device, Vimeo, and all the other things that you can watch stuff on the internet. That's how it's done today, and people use this to tell you how to dress up and how to look pretty or what music to listen to. What do they call these fellows? They monetize it and they become influencers. That's a career path now. It's a thing. Who knew? Influencers. Back in my day, we just called them bullshit artists. And so, that is the icon, not the director or the mini-director, but the influencer. A fellow all grown up to his young 20s. And he will be lurking about, running the show, taking over Horror Nights and bringing it into the next generation. At least that was the original plan before it all exploded. Because, of course, like many millennials, the influencer is a bit... in spite of the photo which you saw showed him out in the public, He's a little introvert and he doesn't really like going out. He likes just doing everything at a distance, the distance of social media and all of that. And this particular plague, which has now beset the world, coronavirus, it has nothing to do with Rosie, Queen of Corona. I heard that from some fellow named Julio down at the schoolyard. No, although I'd like to find some Queen of Corona who can end it all, but unfortunately. Anyway, but because of the virus and we have all this stay-at-home going on, we're getting to be some problematics because everyone thinks it'll be done by Easter, but are you effing kidding me? It's not going to be over by Easter. Are you out of your mind? And it's a very good possibility that this virus will continue throughout the year, maybe be worse in autumn. It's rather dismal because if you're in a queue and you're going through a haunted house, what happens when you go from one room to the other? It's this stuff in face, right? And you know why I always get a cold every year during horror nights and sometimes a bit of a flu? It's because how many people have gone through this corridor and gone through this doorway and had this stuff in their face? And then I go through and get the stuff in my face, and the next person gets the same stuff in their face every time. Stuff in face, stuff in face. I mean, can you imagine doing that with the current conditions of the coronavirus when you're not even supposed to touch your face and must wash your hands constantly? We're going to have the operations people not with little flashlights. Oh no, not with little flashlights. The operations people will be there with hand sanitizer squirting you as you go from room to room. No, it can't be done. Not unless conditions change entirely, and they realize this because there's time to build the haunted houses. How are they going to build the haunted houses while this is still going on? It's just not going to happen at Horror Nights. Yes, I hate to say this, but this year, for the first time since 2006, it will not be at Universal Studios Florida. And it won't be at Islands of Adventure either, and Epic hasn't been built yet, no. Nor is it going to be at Volcano Bay. Lava zombies. Sorry. No, it's going to be Halloween Horror Nights will still happen, though. Don't panic. Don't panic. Halloween Horror Nights is still going to happen this year. Right there in your own home. Yes, it's stay-at-home Horror Nights this year. Quite a wonderful way they're going to work this out. It's all going to be through subscription service, streaming services, and virtual, especially if you're clever enough to have one of those PS3s or whatever they are, those video things that you can hook up to the internet, or especially if you have any sort of VR technology, you'll have much better experience, because it's always been true. The experience of Horror Nights is better if you pay more for it, just like Express Pass or RIP Tours or any such thing. The more you shell out, the better, the more fun it can be for you. The same thing at home entertainment, and that's how they're going to do it. And the Horror Nights will come to you, but you have to pay for it. And guess what? They want to maintain the same experience you would have at the park, which is impossible this year. So, to make sure you have the same experience, you have to pay at least as much as you would have if you'd gone to the event. In fact, for a lot of people, it'd be more. Because that's what really matters, is how much money they make from it. Of course. It'd be quite wonderful. And this allows them to do all sorts of amazing things they could never actually do in the confinement of actual space. No more brick-and-mortar Horror Nights, no. Because now they can have as many houses as you like. Not just 10 houses, but you can have 30 houses. 1,000 houses if you want, designing them sort of yourself. Part of it will be putting in what you want to see. How are they going to pull that off? Well, it's very simple. They'll still have the same scare actors. They're not going to fire anyone. No, the people will still go to work, but not at Universal Studios. They'll work from home. Yes, they can set up their home boo hole where they'll set it up with green screens and they'll be there. And just like all those funny things you have on the Facebook Messenger apps and other sort of applications, when you're Skyping or talking to people online and your face turns into an alien and the tongue flies out and breaks the screen, or it's a dragon and it gets fire, or you can get blood pouring out of your eyes, all those funny ways you can chat with other people and have things happening to your face. There's technology for this. And so the scare actor doesn't have to wear any makeup, doesn't have to go into the theme park and have physical contact with other people touching their face to put on makeup. They don't have to put on costumes. No, they can stay at home in their green frock and just, do whatever scaring they need to do, and then all of it programming will take over, and they'll be whatever creature they need to be. And they can, that way, it's also amazing. Because people who've been effective scare actors in the past, who no longer live here in Central Florida, don't even have to come down here from Pennsylvania or wherever they might be. That's a deliberate shout out to my friend Mel. Yes, they don't have to fly down to audition. They can do it from home, and they can do the scaring from their own home in Pennsylvania or wherever they might be. And it's effective. And all of it can be whatever you might want it to be. Because you can select different IPs. Oh, I want a Conjuring house. I want, Freddy Krueger. I can mix and match. You can do anything because it's all personalized. No one will know what you're doing except in your own home. You could have all sorts of things in your haunted house. Fiddler crabs or horse mask guy, whatever it is. All the different IPs or original mix and match. You can have body collectors, nightingales, and the fish people from Depths of Fear in the same haunted house doing things with each other. Oh my. All sorts of things happening. You mix and match your scare zones in your haunted houses this way. It should be quite marvelous. And as you continue doing this, of course, certain algorithms will be recording your preferences and what frightens you, so that as you continue to pay and do more throughout the time and the season, the houses will become more frightening and scary as they're personalized to what fucks up your mind more. You see how it works. Isn't that delightful? Quite fun. And of course all that data will be collected and sold to the government. Oh no, they would never do. Yes, they will totally do that. Because you're screwed. Oh, don't panic. They're already doing that, you silly children. Facebook and Instagram and Twitter and all of those things already do that. Every time you buy something at Amazon, it goes into a secret database. They know everything. They're controlling you. How do you think certain people get elected? Oh, the real evil is already here. Sorry. Just had to frighten you for real for a minute, because you should be. All right, let me see. And yes, the experience won't just be haunted houses. You could experience in the imagined security of your own home, but also all the others. Yes, you can order your food and beverages in like Grubhub or something. They'll bring it to the house and put it on your porch and run away quickly while you come out and pick it up and bring it in. And leave your money somewhere in little sanitized baggies for the delivery people. No, that won't happen. All the tips and everything will be done on the computer through your accounts. Must be no contact. And then careful. And you'll have everything you expect. The pizza fries will come to your house. So will the blinky drinks. You can buy all the merchandise, all the lovely merchandise you would spend in a virtual tribute store that is even more amazing than any brick and mortar tribute store they've ever had. As lovely as the Mardi Gras store. And oh God, isn't it so sad that this damn virus shut down Mardi Gras so early? and we can't go back to the tribute store to visit the Baron. Oh, oh. Well, that's all right. You know, beads. If someone's holding it in their hand and they throw it at you, then you put it on your head. You wonder why New Orleans had such a high number of cases right after Mardi Gras. So it's probably a good thing the parade ended early here. We'll all be dead by now. But anyway, the brick-and-mortar store, as lovely as it is, will not compare to the glory of the store of the online shop. I mean, they can really put some awesome shit in the online store as you make your way through scary shit and click on things so you can buy your t-shirts and your shot glasses, which will be delivered directly to your home, you see. And of course it will be ridiculously expensive, just like real life. So you'll have the full Horror Nights experience online, including shopping for ridiculously overpriced merchandise and beverages and food that'll all be delivered to you. And there's also, we'll even do other things to make this feel just like the real park experience. So that's when you try to click on one of your new haunted houses. For example, there'll be a 40-minute wait. In some cases, if it seems like a very popular concept, it might be 120 minutes before it comes up. Just to replicate the whole idea of standing in a fucking line. Oh, there'll be little cue videos that repeat in a little loop while you're waiting. You see? And of course, if you pay extra, you can jump the queue wait time and go directly into your haunted house, just like Express Pass. They recreate the whole concept right there on your big widescreen television at the house. Yes, of course, this will, you know, it will definitely slant the event toward people who can afford the better stuff. You got a big widescreen home theater stereo system, it'll be a lot better than someone who's got a little black and white set and can bear, and dial up. They're going to have a horrible time. It's not going to be anywhere near as fun, but it's just like the person who goes to Horror Nights on one night, the only night they can afford, and it rains all night, and they can't even get into any of the house. The scare zones are down, and when they try to go to a haunted house, they get a bad experience because they just walked through it. The only time they're able to do the house that entire year just happens to be the time when there was a cast change and there's no one in any scenes. You see, that's the people who don't have money and have to have a little set that isn't as effective as the people who can afford the big wide screens and have all the lovely stereo sound and everything beautiful experience in their house, virtual reality goggles, everything, to make a full experience far more delightful. Because this world is fucking unfair. Yes, they talk about white privilege, but we know the truth. Green privilege is what makes the world go round. So, oh yes. You didn't expect me to actually tell the truth a couple of times in this video, did you? Well, they always say there's some one or two elements of truth in my videos. And this time the truth is most uncomfortable. So that's what Horror Nights will be this year. God save us all. And until next year, when I do my next All Secrets of Halloween Horror Nights 31 reveal, that is, if any of us are still alive and this planet still exists. That's the silly video for this year, my April 1st video for this year. God help us all. And at the same time, I'll return on a different day to talk more accurately about what will happen this year, I hope, because I have a terrible feeling that some of what I've said is actually going to happen. And I'll talk about the utterly ridiculous maps that we have seen and the fact that they might be true and all that sort of stuff in the future after this date has passed, as well as the cocktail videos I still haven't made for last year, and other stuff. So, until then, enjoy your short and miserable lives.